Look at the villa. All right, guys, let's go and do that.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
That is exceptional.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
This is cool, man.
It's a 90 minutes video she prepared to show you why Roblox is better. It's like a 10-year-old proving your point.
Well, good
Yeah,
for her. My personal favorite was my granddaughter, who informed me that she had done improvements on her house and her mortgage had increased.
Oh, nice. Oh.
I'm like, okay, now I know how you're going to pay for college.
That is too funny. You can look at me, you can see I'm a saint.
Oh, my Lord. Yeah, okay, who's going to be Judas?
Well, I'm going to talk a little bit today about my company, Shuttle, which is a space tourism company. And we offer orbital trips to space. So we work with SpaceX and Boeing, which build rockets that can go to the International Space Station. So, yeah, I got into my company. I have always been fascinated by space and inspired by Carl Sagan and Stephen Hawking and the idea of the pale blue dot and the overview effect. And so I wanted to build a product for people to be able to experience that themselves. So that's how I started my company, and we're basically a spaceflight brokerage. And like I said, we work with SpaceX, Boeing, and we also work with NASA on the regulatory side. And we've got 4 customers lined up right now who will be going to the space station sometime late 2022. The ticket price is very expensive, so it's around $55 million per seat for a 30-day trip. So it's the ultimate luxury experience. Eventually, we'll offer suborbital once Blue Origin is ready, and we'll also offer trips to the moon as well once those trips are ready someday. So yeah. So yeah, so we'll be taking the Falcon Rocket, which holds the Falcon Rocket, which holds 4 people.
And he's gone. By the way, Anne, the best thing that happened when your dog was barking. Listen, when Anne's dog was barking, her lips were moving, so it looked like Anne was barking. It's like
No, my dog was barking because he wants to go out, and I'm just... Han, shut up. I'm going to take you back
see
to
her
the
lips
pound.
moving when the dog is barking. It's like too good.
An unanticipated feature of this program, when there's ambient noise in the room, your lips will move, irrespective of whether you're speaking or not.
That's right. It's excellent, especially if it's a dog and you see her lips moving, barking.
Exactly.
Sorry, Avery, we interrupted your...
Anyway, I'm going to have to go let Han out, guys, so I'll be back in a bit.
All right,
Okay.
thanks.
So anyways, the Moon Rocket, which is also known as the Starship, which you've been seeing SpaceX tests lately with their rocket blowing up, that's the Starship. Eventually that'll do point-to-point air travel, like first-class air travel, so that can hold like hundreds of people. So it'll comfortably hold like 20 people. So for a circumlunar trip, we can fit around 20 people into that rocket, and eventually more.
Wow.
And that's the same rocket that'll go to Mars, actually. Someday.
Pretty amazing. How many
Yeah.
people in the company, Avery? How much did you raise?
So we are very lean. We're pretty much self-funded, and we're paying for the rocket through our customer. So we are less than 5 people right now. So we're mostly contractors. So I have some engineers and designers and some business people, but we're very lean. I'm mostly like a spaceflight broker, like I said. So I interface between my customers and the relevant parties to get them up there. So.
Right. And who are the first 4 customers that you'll be
So
having?
yeah, I can't tell you their names yet, but they'll be announced soon.
Got it.
Yeah.
Because there's this, I'm not sure it's connected, but there's an Israeli fighter pilot
Yes, going with Axiom. Yep.
with Axiom. Yeah, so that's not
so
with
they're-
you. That's someone else.
No, that's a competing company, but they're doing the same thing. So they're also booking a flight with SpaceX. They're a broker. They buy the whole rocket, and then they sell the individual seats because SpaceX does not sell the individual seats. So what we're doing is the same thing. We're buying a whole rocket, and we're selling individual seats on that rocket.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's the agreement with NASA then, or whomever the agreement for the ISS?
Well, we reimburse NASA for use of the ISS, for use of their training facility, etc.
Cool. Yeah, it's
so-
interesting. The ISS.
Yeah.
So I live in the DC area, Washington DC.
Oh, okay. Really?
And literally yesterday evening, the ISS was just passing overhead.
Oh,
literally
wow.
just above us. So I set the alarm, and the minute it came, it went off at like 7:52 p.m. Called my kids outside to show them the ISS in the sky. So
Wow.
very
You
timely.
could- yeah?
That's cool.
It's like a bright star that passes. In our case, it's from southwest to northeast.
And wasn't it light already? You could still see it?
It was dark. It was dusk, and it was getting dark, but you could see it in the sky. It was pretty intense to see the ISS.
That's really cool.
So, trying to educate my kids about this. When the Israelis were about to land Bereshit on the moon, I actually took started streaming it on the big screen, and
wow.
unfortunately, they crash in real time.
Oh. So Mars is like the furthest thing out, but I do have an idea of what's going to come in the future in terms of the next 10, 20 years of space travel. So first we'll do a circumlunar, which is just where you go in a rocket around the moon. You don't get to land or walk on the moon. So first that'll happen in the next 5 years. There's a Japanese guy who already booked one of those flights you may have heard about, who's taking some people with him for free. Then we'll land on the moon. NASA wants to land a man and a woman on the moon within, the next 10 years. So then people will walk on the moon. We'll start building a base on the moon. And so we'll probably get to Mars by way of the moon, right? They're an adventurer, so they're the type of person who's climbed Mount Everest or, like to jump out of planes.
I woke up one morning, said, what I'm going to do today, read the paper, do bungee jumping. Let's do bungee jumping. So that's that level. So if I could afford it, heck, get on a rocket and circle the moon, come back, come again later on and for a walk. Should be fun. Nice.
Yeah, I'm back. Now, if I could just figure out how to turn around, we'd be good.
With the joystick. The no gravity is non-trivial. There's an ISS simulator application for the Quest 2. I downloaded it. I read the reviews before. People warned that you might get nausea. Man, 5 minutes in, I had to take it off, and I nearly took my guts off. It's like terrible nausea. It's like so. I'm sure up in space it's probably as bad. There's a very good book written by an astronaut. I think the book's name is Starman, or something like that. But one of the astronauts that went up for several missions to fix the Hubble telescope and others. And he talks about the fact that it takes about 24 hours once you get in to settle down and to get used to it, and you don't feel constantly nauseated.
I will travel to Texas to go to training with our astronauts, and NASA's headquartered in Texas, so I talk with them regularly.
What's the business model? You're a
So-
brokerage, so
yeah.
how do you actually make money?
So we buy the whole rocket from SpaceX, and then we add on services like training and life. We navigate everything for our customers. So we deal with NASA, we deal with SpaceX. So we buy the entire rocket from SpaceX, and then we charge a little bit extra to our customers.
Okay.
For the training and other stuff like that. Yeah.
So you're
So
buying
it's-
the physical rocket itself, or just that flight?
A launch.
A launch, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so everyone goes through a period of training and everything to make sure they're
Yeah,
gonna.
70. Yeah, it's only
Without-
70 hours of training for tourists, so it's not too
70.
bad. But yeah, SpaceX doesn't sell a single seat. So if you go to SpaceX, you have to buy the whole rocket, which is why you've seen like the guy from the Super Bowl commercial and Inspiration 4, and the guy from Japan. They bought the entire rocket for themselves. So that's around 200 mil. Yeah.
Well, as my grandmother used to say, rich or poor, it's nice to have money.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, this is of particular interest to me because I grew up on a steady diet of Robert Heinlein and was pretty convinced that by the time I was an adult, I would be able to live in the moon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
By the age of 21, you'll be in the moon, right? Bazooka Joe?
Well, not quite Bazooka Joe, but, you know, I had complete
Heinlein,
confidence.
yeah, I was also reading Heinlein, Asimov, and all the good
I
guys.
think I read every single book I could get my hands on all through high school.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then you grew up, right? I never did. I just reread Space Cadet for the 97th time, I think.
Wow.
Wow.
Nice.
Guys, I'll be right back. I got to run to the bathroom.
Okay, enjoy.
There you go. And he's gone. Very
It
cool.
gives a new meaning to defining your guardian boundary, doesn't it?
Wow, Ophir. Talk about getting old.
He meant to say a whole folder, so you can put a whole folder attached to one of these frames, so that you
Okay,
can
now
flip through everything.
this starts to be interesting from a business perspective. But how would one go about uploading a file from one's iPhone, or more reasonably from one's computer? Because I don't typically keep business presentations on my iPhone. How do you tune out other conversations?
Oh, do I need
Ask
to
them
update it?
to go somewhere else.
Yeah, we can go farther away.
Yeah, well, no, it's all right. I
Oh, we
mean,
can
so
go to-
that basically very real life.
Exactly.
I know.
Is it on the
Actually,
website
what
or
we
is
can
it
do
on
is we can
the?
go into that room and close the door. You guys
Yeah,
keep the
exactly.
channel.
Let's do
right?
that.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
All right, let me see if I can get into that room now.
By the way, when I visited the bear with Stephen and Leo the other day, and I was so engrossed with the bear floating around there trying to ride it, etc., that when I turned around and said, all right, let's go back to the villa, I headed in the opposite direction. I lost my own coordination. Yeah, it's like,
Hey,
Yeah.
so where is the bear?
yes. What's that, Prasad?
Huh? I was asking where is the bear?
Oh, where's
saw
the
that in
bear?
the intro.
Oh, let's go to the bear.
Yeah, it's down by the lake.
Oh, okay.